How's it going, everyone? How are you? Welcome back to the channel. So today we've got a very important piece of the puzzle for my 7M has just arrived. So I don't know if you've seen the last one anyway. I blew up the oil pump gear again, so it exploded, let go. Now I have not completely dived into the motor yet. I wanted to just chuck a cam belt on, starter, do compression tests and all that other stuff. Just see if I did actually bend the valves before stripping the motor and going, oh wait, I didn't, and then having a stripped motor. But I'm not super hopeful. I'll probably have damaged some valves, but anyway, it's worth a shot. It'll only take me a little bit of my own time to find out. So this here is the new oil pump gear, and that is the old. As you can see, so we got steel versus alloy, but it is much thinner in the spokes, and I don't know, 40 years old and 6 months old, or not used yet. And alloy, 7075 anodized gear profile. They've done a really good job. It's the same, so it should be a great direct replacement. The only other thing I've got to do is that cam belt guide popped off. Toyota doesn't have any in stock, so I'm just going to pop that back on and pop a couple of tacks on there to keep that back in place. And then I'm actually, speaking of Toyota, I'm on my way to go pick up a new cam belt from them, and then it can be reassembled and start it and just see how nasty it sounds. So if it did bend the valves like last time, it will sound horrendous when I fire it up. Anyway, let's go to Toyota and get some parts. One 7M GTE cam belt acquired. Time to fix that sprocket, or whatever you want to call it, cam belt guide, and get this thing back together. So this is my last wee job. Just run the wire wheel and over this and a bit of acetone, and then dropped it on the floor just to make it dirty. So ordinarily this is, you can see some little grooves maybe. Ordinarily that's just pressed on and it sort of free spins a bit. This is an updated model. The earlier ones were spot welded on, and the spot welds broke off, so they decided to go with little tabs to hold it in place instead of spot welds. But obviously my cam belt went flying and took it off with it, so I'm going to use a punch or something, just pop that back on, and then I'm just going to throw a couple of tacks on it to keep that in place, like I had to do on the rear. Tried to get a new one, but didn't have any in my parts bin. Well, I did, but it was broken. And new ones are ex-Japan, so weldy it is. Well, out of focus, but anyway, that should do the trick. Just a few tacks on there, it's all been clean faced around that edge. See the crank pulley itself only goes to focus, only goes to this line, so underneath all the tacks anyway. I checked all that before I went ahead with this, but I have also just faced just the tip of the all the way around, so that's actually nice and flat the whole way. Doesn't look super pretty, but whatever. It was held on there pretty good before anyway, just by tapping it back on, and hopefully with those tacks I don't have any walking cam belt. So we can put it back together now. So I've chucked that timing gear back on. Time to chuck on the new oil pump gear. It comes with a new bolt, I'm guessing because it's slightly thicker there. Where is the old bolt? Because I think I might have to reuse the washer off that. Interesting. I'm unsure what that bolt is for because it's it's a different size. Not sure whether he drilled out and tapped his to take a different bolt or what, but standard bolt it is. I got the cam belt on. It's together just enough to compression test it, and we will assess from there.
Watch this, Lise. You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half.
Oh. Well, unfortunately, it looks like I've bent probably some valves in the last two cylinders, being very low compression in number 5 specifically. So oh well, I kind of expected it. I'm not gonna lie, I did get a little bit hopeful when I got through the first 4 cylinders and they were okay. And yeah, when we got to the 5th, it was like, oh, it's real. So, oh well, I somewhat expected it. So time to pull off the head and well, just do a pile of work. Well, it's about damn time that I stopped being lazy, feeling sorry for myself. To be honest, not so much the second part, just lazy, tired, busy. Pull this apart. I have a few events I want to do, and I'm not going to be able to do them without a car. So I've got a spare head which was very kindly donated to me. Not sure if the head itself is any good. Doesn't matter, I'll check it out anyway. Could be a good spare if it is, otherwise I'll just scrap it. But yeah, another complete head minus cams, which I'll never use anyway. So I have a donor for some new valves. So I had thought, I'll wait for the lighting to catch up. I had thought about just sending that head down, and if it was in good condition, getting them to machine that and just set that up. I still might, but that's all mucking around. I'm gonna take this head off and I'll take them both down at once. I'll be like, whatever one's better, use that, and we'll start again. So yeah, the plan is head off to the machine shop straight away so they can start getting worked on. I've ordered another new gasket, HK stopper from Right Hand Drive Japan. By far the best pricing on those available. I want to say like 450 Kiwi, 450 New Zealand dollars shipped. It's a spendy head gasket, but ever since I've been using HK stoppers, I've spun a bearing, I've blown up 2 oil pump gears, and I feel like there was something else, but I haven't blown a head gasket. I've done everything but. So if you want to solve at least one thing on your car, HK stopper. So yeah, I'll undo this work which I just did by putting that back on, whip this head off, and then once the head's off, I've got a clutch that needs to be replaced, so I'll replace the clutch. I need to inspect the 5 and 6 piston, because that's where the valves hit, to make sure that I haven't crushed the ring lands and the rings are stuck, because that happened last time and it had excessive blow by, so I'll check that. And while it's there, it's like, well, obviously check the bearings, make sure they're all good, but I might just throw a new set of bearings in it if it's all mint and I can, just because while I'm there I may as well. And yeah, have a sort of a slight freshen up, so we'll have new bearings, not that hopefully it needs them. New clutch, which it definitely bloody needed, and then head back on. I run just like stock standard front to outer head, no porting, no polishing, nothing, just dropping cams, that's it. Oh, well, I've got dropping cams and the big block Chevy and a valve spring for my valve springs. So yeah, let's do this. Well, the exhaust and wiring loom and most of the accessories are off, so it's pretty much ready to remove the head. Well, she's off. Much like last time, I can't really see much on the pistons. There's a wee scratch on the top of that one, but not really in the area of the valves, so not to say something foreign didn't get in there previously. So onto the head. 5 and 6 have definitely been playing touchy. You can see there and there, but actually still is number 3 and 4 and 3 and 2 may have got away with it, but 1 touched as well. So 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 most definitely touched. Interestingly, compression was pretty good up to about here. Not so great there. But I'd imagine I've bent more than just those, but it's alright. I've got a full spare head of them, so I'll take this down now. Well, not now, it's almost midnight. I'll take this down tomorrow and get this inspected and the other head inspected and be like, mate, I just want a head. Make me the best one you can out of the 2. And we'll go from there. And while they're doing that, then I'll pull the block out and the trans so that I can change the clutch, which is somewhere in there. Just got a call from Cliff Bonds, so both of my heads that I dropped off are fucked. The one that was on the car more recently apparently is fucked, and the spare I was given is fucked, but that's no surprise. So I have my final head, which was on my car last time, and apparently it was okay, but not great. So we'll see. Well, head number 3, fucked. So yeah, a bit of a standstill here. I don't have a head.